afternoon. Happy and blessed Wednesday, y'all. bear with me. I am just everywhere. I feel like it's a glare going on right now that I do not like. Um, just to how the lighting is. And I'm kind of late coming here, so let's start this over. Welcome. My name is Catherine Barnett. Whoever is new here, I go by Cat Barnett, and this is the Cat Barnett podcast, episode 100, 101. And I also help women who struggle with confidence in their faith and fitness develop strategies and systems that lead them to gain clarity, direction, and purpose so that they can be fulfilled as they walk in their calling faithfully. And y'all, I'm blessed to be here each and every week. I'm a little all over the place if I'm being honest with y'all right now. My schedule has been changing kind of frequently, so that's why the podcast episodes, the times haven't been set in like they usually have. And but it's on the way. I work in sports, so we got to work on the fly. I'm always on the go, or sometimes my schedule needs to be moved up or dropped down. But I'm blessed either way to do what I love and to do this. This is another thing that I love, and I won't be before y'all long today. It's just an episode that I just think it came up because I was just really thinking of how I love to serve. Like, I'm just a serve, and I love to help people. But sometimes that can be by default, because sometimes I want to feel like I a superwoman and save the world, but I am not called to help or save everyone. And I know people pleasers are going to be able to relate to this episode because you, quite frankly, fall into this category. Anyone who it's hard for you to say no, or you just want to make everyone happy, or you take everybody's problems on the weight of your shoulders, and you want to save and help everyone, this episode is for you because we I'm getting better. I don't really fall under a people pleaser. I just literally want to help. I want to serve. So but this episode is going to be how to empathize without taking on people's stress, right? Because I think sometimes we think to be of service that we have to give 100% to everyone in need. And that's just simply not the case, because at times it's okay to not be available. Like, it's all right, because to stay centered and decompress, you need to be able to, give yourself a break and be able to self reflect and self care. That I always preach that on past episodes. Self care is a non-negotiable in my life. So when being of service, I think we have to consider like each situation individually, and always factor in like your own energy level and your physical considerations and needs also play a part, your emotional limitations to access on how much you can even give in the first place. So I'm gonna go over with you guys 5 strategies on when I was researching, and it's from a book. It's called the book is called The Genius of Empathy: Practical Skills to Heal Your Sensitive Self and Your Relationships in the World. And man, the 5 strategies that I research in that I am applying to my life already, that I've seen that this can help free a lot of people, that you can empathize but don't take on everybody's problems. So let's jump right into this. Number one is give a little, not a lot. And sometimes that might be contradictional. in society we are self-consumed and we think me, I, that it's all about me. But no, take it off of you and think about others. You know, think about how you can serve others. Give a little, not a lot. Appreciate the power of offering small gifts, whether it's a hug, a flower, a fresh salad, a birthday card, 3 minutes of your time instead of a whole afternoon. Some people limit their giving to an hour daily or even more. You know, train yourself to be a high quality giver in smaller increments when possible. And I might have said that wrong earlier. Like, yes, it's contradicting where yes, it's about I self-absorbed, where we should consume all our time, but also spend time with others. Whereas you should spend time with others, but too many times we're spending time around the wrong people, whereas we're spending little time around the right people. Like if you have mentors or business partners or people that you aspire to live like, or they have the life that you want and you have access to be around them, why wouldn't you spend more time around them? Like, spend time around people that you can learn from, that have the life that you want, instead of hanging out with people that, not saying they might not be going nowhere, but they're not on the same path as you, or their ambitions aren't the same as you, or their drive isn't the same as you. Like, yes, you can still hang out with them, but limit yourself. Give a little, not a lot. Number two, and if you're getting value from the this, please, if you're watching this live, put a V or put value, or if you can relate to any of this, say relatable in the chat. And if you're gonna watch the replay, also comment in the replay. I look at those and I appreciate them. So number two is set compassionate, guilt-free limits. And when I read this one, I really love this because growing up, I and still am at times, but I've learned to give myself grace so I can give grace to others. Is I was so hard on myself. I'm my biggest critic, especially when I grew up and was playing sports. I was just so hard on myself, and sometimes I can carry that over into the business world and into my job. But I gotta remember to, give myself grace. So set compassionate, guilt free limits. If you feel you should say yes to every request that comes your way, you need to practice setting limits. You can respond, I'm sorry, I'm unable to attend, but I appreciate the invitation, or thank you for asking, but I can't take on any more commitments right now, or I'd love to help, but I only have an hour. Like or the other thing is set boundaries, because it's really for yourself. It's really for your mental, and it's to keep people in your life. Like, because changing your behavior and acting as if you know can help with an attitude shift, because you don't need to be guilt free to set limits. You can still be quite kind and respectful and still have boundaries and set limits for yourself. Number three is, this is my favorite, I would say, is go into unavailable mode. Like I said on a previous episode, my phone, it's not even by me. It's in the other room right now, and it's on do not disturb because I do not want to be disturbed. Sometimes it has to be like that if you need to focus and get things done. Anytime I have a podcast episode, my phone is either on do not disturb or airplane mode, because my mama will still blow up my phone. So you guys have to remember, it's not healthy to be on call for others all the time. So to preserve your energy for minutes, hours, or longer, sometimes you need to turn off your electronic devices and don't answer calls and stop doing favors for others, because this gives you a break to be demand free. And it may be surprising to realize that most people can survive without you for a while. Not everybody needs you 24/7, and vice versa. Like, learn to spend time alone. Like I said on a previous episode, even Jesus spent time alone. You need to learn to enjoy solitude. That doesn't mean isolate yourself all the time, because that's not healthy. But learn to have self about reflection alone, solitude, be alone. Number 4 is recognize when you have had enough. Recognize when you have had enough, because there are some limits to giving that you can't modify, because your mental or physical health depends on maintaining them, and there is no way to compromise that anymore. You know, I was, just researching, and the person in the book was saying that they divorced. They had a friend that divorced their husband because the husband never wanted children, and they realized that um, he would always be the one, always just with them, and he was really a high maintenance person. So that was a, very, made it a positive decision for her, that um, you know she was not willing to accept, because she wanted to have children and he was high maintenance. So sometimes protecting yourself requires a big change. Um, I know for me personally, I transitioned, actually quit a job 2 months ago, because my mental health was getting, um, it was getting to the point where it was going to jeopardize that, and I had to make a decision. So I had to make a big change, and but God is a faithful God, where he still has taken care of my every needs, and I'm now an event operational manager at a professional soccer stadium here in my hometown, Fort Wayne, Indiana. So God is always faithful and always working, and man, I'm just blessed. I'm just blessed. So though achieving closure can be difficult at times, or sometimes you may never get that closure when you make a big change. But if it feels more at peace, and more at peace with your mental, you got to do it. It's wise to do that, and loving to acknowledge that it's time to move on. Sometimes things have an expiration date, and that's okay, because in a book, just because one chapter ends doesn't mean you're not going on to the next chapter. There are several other chapters in the story, in the book. And sometimes one chapter just closes and another one will begin. So, number 5, y'all, the last strategy to, empathize with people, but not take on their problems and the pressure of everybody's problems, is meditate and pray. Meditate and pray. And if you don't remember any 5 steps, remember this one, because I know in my life, prayer changes things, and it has. Whether there's nothing more you can do to help someone, or they refuse help, remember to pray for their well being and the best outcome to their problem. It's better to keep this prayer general rather than more specific if you're praying for several people. But for me, I like to pray for people personally. If somebody tells me they want me to pray for someone, like their parent or their friend, I'll take it a step personally and I say, what's their name? Because I like to pray for people by name and make it personal so that God really knows that this is personal between me and you. Because that's how I view prayer. It's personal. And, you know, I know we can't always heal others or ourselves, and we can't get rid of the pain, but turning the problem to the creator, or the forces, um, or whatever you believe in, but I believe in Jesus Christ, the creator, God. Um, Turn to him for love and healing. Allow him to work in you. And I also love the serenity prayer. And it was also in the book that I did the notes on, that it's a prayer that I suggest that when you don't know what to do, pray this. And the serenity prayer is this: God, grant me the serenity to accept the people or things I cannot change, the courage to change what I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Man, I love that prayer. And I'll say it one more time: God, grant me the serenity to accept the people or the things I cannot change, the courage to change what I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. You guys, if you're working hard, and I'll take it a step further, if you're working too hard to help someone, sometimes you may need to take a pause. Let the person be themselves without making it your mission, to improve them or to save them. Sometimes we have to be our own saviors. We have to participate in the own rescue of our lives. We can't be on the sidelines of our own lives. You have to get in the game. And I truly believe that healthy giving is very graceful. It's patient, and it makes you smile, because a healing gift to your it's a healing gift to yourself and others when you help them, but know your limits so that you can set limits and have boundaries with others. So I hope you guys got value from this episode. It's been great, and 20 minutes into it, just learn how to empathize, but don't take the weight on of everybody's problems on your shoulders, because it's not for you to carry. It's for the creator, because he can heal and change anything in anybody's life. So with that being said, I hope you guys got value from this, and I will be right back here Wednesday. I'm hoping it's going to be 1 p.m. Eastern again, but please bear with me. Thank you for being flexible. But it will be Wednesday. I'll be right back here. And peace, love, and blessings. God bless y'all.